Hello again everyone, welcome back to DIY The Art of Wood. I'm Jeremy. Well, we're ready for the next step. I'm ready to start installing some of the steel wainscoting. First thing I need to do is mark a line for the top level of the wainscoting. The easiest way to do that is grab a long level like this, bring it up to whatever level you want to have it at, and for me basically I'll be bringing it up to the bottom of these boxes here that I'm using for junction boxes. Get it level, grab a pencil, mark your line. Just take that all the way down. And then line it back up again. Let's move on down the line. Okay, that'll do for now. Now I've got a reference line to bring the top edge of the panels up to, installing them like this. So I'll know about where to put them. And I'm not going to be too concerned with getting them perfectly straight and even as far as up to this level goes, because it doesn't really matter if I'm off by a little tiny bit, or if I need to drop one down a little bit to get underneath one of these boxes, it's fine. I've given myself plenty of clearance at the bottom, a lot of wiggle room. And I did that on purpose, mainly because I knew I was going to have to put in some square stock below the bottom edge of this to have something to screw the baseboard into. And all that wiggle room up and down here is going to be covered by the chase that I'm going to install, and down at the bottom by the baseboard. So all that will disappear. Even if they're completely uneven, you'll never see it. And that little bit of wiggle room at the bottom is really important for what we're doing here. Right now there's carpet, and that carpet is going to be replaced relatively soon, but not right away. And you don't want to take this all the way down to the edge of the carpet, otherwise you'd have a hard time pulling the carpet out, pulling the tack strip out. So I have plenty of room here when we're ready to do the floor to remove the carpet and pull up the tack strip. So that's one of those things that you need to think of ahead of time, of what are you going to do with the floor. And that's just another one of those things where a little bit of experience comes into play, where you can kind of start to think 1 and 2 moves ahead. Okay, what's going to happen next? Am I painting myself into a corner here? Now, if we were replacing the flooring right away, I would just pull the carpet and the tack strip out of here right now, and it wouldn't be an issue and it wouldn't matter. But even then, you'll still want to leave yourself a little bit of space at the bottom so you can run whatever flooring you're putting in all the way up to the wall and then drop the baseboard on top of it. If you were to run this all the way down to the subfloor, then when you went to install the flooring, it would only stop at the edge of the panel instead of going under it and giving you a nice clean look. These are pretty easy to install. These are nail strip panels. They have this little flange here on one side that has these slots that you can either drive nails through or drive screws through to attach it to whatever you're attaching it to. So I'll just bring them up to my reference line here, grab a short level to make sure my vertical ribs are staying level, and just drive a few screws through the nail flange. Then grab the next panel, snap it over the rib onto the next nail flange, and so on and so on. I will have to stop and cut around some of these electrical outlets and things like that, so that will slow me down a little bit, but I can at least get started tonight. So without further ado, let's get started installing a few of these panels. And this is a magnetic level, by the way, which is really handy for installing steel panels. So I'll be leaving some of the plastic on, just basically get it off the ribs. That way it'll keep these panels protected. a little bit longer. Just tap it in. Stay on your line. Make sure you're keeping her vertical. Ooh, over and again and again. Mama, I'ma give it back to you. Okie dokie. Enough for now. Okay, so I've got the first few panels installed here. The next panel, I'm going to have to cut an opening to go around the electrical outlet here, and I will have to do this a few more times. There's another one down that way, and there's a couple on the wall behind me. And the easiest way to do that I've found, I've already got this marked, but let me show you how I did it. I can find my little torpedo level. So I pulled the outlet cover off. I just use my torpedo level to just scribe a line just above and just below the mounting flange on the electrical outlet here, so I can transfer that line over here. Then what I will do, take the tape measure and measure the existing panel, and these panels are all the exact same length. So I can measure this one, determine the spot from the bottom that I need to cut. So I'll have my bottom and my top there, and then use the rib here as another reference point to measure side to side, and that'll give me the area that I need to cut out. You want to cut it out just a little bit bigger so you have a little bit of wiggle room, but not so big that it won't be covered up by the outlet cover plate. Then the easiest way to do that, after you've got your lines laid out and you figured out exactly where that opening is going to go, is draw it out on the panel, take a little center punch, punch the corners, drill into the corners with a drill, and then take a jigsaw with a metal blade and then cut that out. There's other ways to do it too. There's other tools you can use, but that's what I have on hand. That seems to work pretty well, especially if I only have to do a couple of these. It's not that big a deal. It does make an incredible amount of noise because you got that jigsaw blade cutting against the metal, and it's a loud racket, so definitely wear hearing protection and eye protection because you might get a few metal chips in your eyes if you don't. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to mark the next panel, cut it out, install it, and then keep going, and then I'll have to do the same when I get down there to the other end. Okay, so keep in mind that I do have a plastic film on this, so I have no problem drawing all over this. If you didn't have a plastic film, you may want to do this on the back side. And then what you'll want to do, just for your own peace of mind, is take the outlet cover and kind of cover that up, and you shouldn't see the lines that you're going to cut out. So that'll tell you that that will all be hidden behind the outlet cover once you put the outlet cover in place. And as Norm Abram always said, measure twice, cut once. So I'm going to verify my measurements here, then I'll start cutting. Jeez. That on my hammer. That wasn't good, huh? Hello? Yeah. Okay. I just lost my train of thought here. Stupid hammer. Okay, so I have the first few panels installed. The next panel I'm going to have to cut around. Hi, baby. Okay. Okay, so